Hi guys, and welcome to Word of the Day Wednesday. Hi guys, and welcome to Word of the Day Wednesdays. I am author Nicole D. Miller. Hey Marion. Here is my debut novel, When Love Wins. When Love Wins is the story of two young female women with a rift in their relationship. When Natalie, the faith-based social justice advocate writer, loses her mother, she moves in with her cousin Ashley for recovery from grief. But instead of a warm welcome, she receives an icy cold one. Is there more to the story? Of course there is, and you can learn more at whenlovewins.love. All right, let's get started. So every week, you guys know, I piggyback off of my latest blog. This week's blog is When Someone Else is Driving. Yeah, Marion, I actually am live every Wednesday at 5. So I'm talking about my latest blog, When Someone Else is Driving. So I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I really struggle being like cool and calm and collected and just laid back if somebody else is driving. And so in this blog, I talk about how I learned to drive, my history of driving. Driving for me was a sign of independence. I'm your typical Aries. I like my independence, okay? But it's funny because when I was a little youngin', wet behind the ears, I felt like I was super behind my peers. I felt like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get my license. I don't remember like what the issues were. There were some delays, but I got my license at 16, so it was the normal time frame in our society. But at the time, because I'm such an overachiever and just a go-getter, I was just like, oh my God, it's never gonna happen. And so I finally got my license, and then I got my first car, if we can call it a car. Some of my friends from back in the day remember this vehicle. The word that's coming to my mind is it was a clunker. More of an urban description would be a hoopty. Okay, that's what it was. I remember we paid $800 for it, and I was so proud because I paid for half of that $800. And you know, saving $400 back in the day, I think we got paid $4.25 minimum wage at a fast food spot, right? So not an easy feat. So definitely I was grinding. But that little car or clunker or hoopty, whatever you want to call it, only lasted, it probably lasted less than 6 months. Like, I don't think it lasted the full school year. But I drove it proudly initially until it kept stranding me all around Cleveland. It was a mess. One of my best friends from back in the day remembers. Like, I remember I was so excited to go see her. She lived across town. I went to meet her. Definitely did not make it home. And back then we didn't have cell phones. So can you imagine being stranded with no cell phone? Anyway, but that did not deter me. I did end up getting a better vehicle that my great-grandfather blessed me with my senior year of college. And that inspired me with my next purchase, which was all my own, of a Honda Civic. And so anyways, I have this history with driving that, you know, it just gives me that freedom, and I get to just kind of do my own thing and check off my checklist and boxes and all the things. But the thing about it is, I feel like driving and I feel like having that type of leisure is kind of a freedom, but there is another type of freedom that I'm learning in my faith journey where I am not the driver, okay? And so I have seen over the years how God has had to teach me, mold me, groom me to let go of the keys, to let go of the reins, and let Him drive. Okay? And so that's kind of what I'm talking about in this blog post, because I was talking to my godmom recently and asking about, like, or I was just sharing about how, I think I was just sharing about some like difficult things in this season and surrendering and trusting and faith. And she was like, yeah, it's like when someone else is driving. And I'm like, so true. And I haven't been in this situation. I've heard stories of couples arguing over directions. Typically, back in the day, the stereotype was the man didn't want to ask for directions. Back in the day, we didn't have GPS. He didn't want to go to the grocery store or to the gas station and ask for directions, so they would be arguing. Anyways, what I've learned in this season is that and when I say season, I mean this 20-year long faith journey, is that, God is trustworthy. He's trustworthy with the keys, He's trustworthy with navigating, because not only does He know where you're going, He knows what time you need to be there, He knows the best route to take. And I think that's been the most difficult part of this season of my journey, is trusting the how. It's like, well, how are we gonna get there? Like, you said we're getting there. You said this is the time frame, but how? And I heard a minister say He is the how, and I really, really love that. So just remember that. But what I talk about in the blog is that because I have this history of Him coming through, showing up, even though He may do it last minute or not do it the way I want Him to, He does it in a way that is perfect for me and is tailor made to my development. So it may not be a shortcut, okay? It may be have some hills, have some valleys, have some mountains, some winding roads, and near-death experiences. However, you will get there. And He's so faithful. And I have to keep pulling on that. So I hope you guys are encouraged. Definitely check out my blog at NicoleDMiller.com. There is an event coming up that I'm super excited about. It is the Power Brand Expo. Yes, I'm so excited. I'm actually going to be a moderator there. Sharita is hosting. Well, she's the head, and this is her event, and I'm so honored to be a moderator. Literally, I went to the very first one 2 years ago, and I was just sitting in the audience in awe of Sharita Karthan. And now I'm like, I'm going to be on stage. So I was like, wow, this is an amazing honor. So you guys check that out. That's coming up soon. We're going to be promoting that on my platform. If you are not already enrolled in my email list, definitely enroll. We definitely, I do a lot, and so that's like the only way to keep up with everything I'm doing. So the Power Brand Expo is at Breakthrough Sound Studios. It's August 31st. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, right now I am pretty busy with writing. The interesting thing is I went to a writing workshop this weekend, and it inspired me to pick up my novel. So I had started working on my novel, honestly, 3 years ago. This is my second novel, you guys. So it is a continuation of the Devon's Cafe series. So yeah, I'm working on my second novel, but I kind of took a break from it in the spring because I started being heavily focused on my memoir. And then I started taking on clients and writing their memoirs. And so we're in the process of finishing some of those books and publishing some and taking new clients and finishing my memoir. But I'm picking back up my novel. So a lot of writing is happening these days, on top of the blogging. So, but it's all good. There's so much grace. I never would have fathomed I would have the capacity to do all of this. And I'm a new mom, as you guys know. So yeah, it's definitely grace. Grace. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to check out the blog, NicoleDMiller.com, and I will see you next week.